begins. In the mysterious and eerie town of Crestmoor, life can change in an instant. Abby, reeling from heartbreak after being abandoned by her boyfriend, Giveon, seeks comfort from her best friend, Melanie. But one fateful decision changes everything. Abby gets into the wrong car. Trapped with a masked man who knows far too much about her, Abby realizes this isn't just a kidnapping, it's a sinister game. The stranger drops photos of her life onto her lap, revealing he's been watching her for weeks, even inside her own home. As Abby fights her growing terror, her friends Melanie, Sophie, and Jamie desperately search for her, only to find her abandoned jacket at the park. The tension skyrockets when a photo of Abby, seemingly lifeless, goes viral on the Chat Me app with the haunting caption, "Come find me or I die." Now, Detective Kimberly Stanton must piece together the clues to find Abby before it's too late. But with the clock ticking, one question looms large. Is this a rescue mission or a game where the stakes are life and death?
Abby had always believed in the idea of family, the kind that gathered around the dinner table at night, sharing stories and laughing at jokes only families understood. But Crestmoor wasn't that kind of town. It was a place where old money still dictated who mattered and who didn't. A town that had once been built on gem and mineral mining, but now thrived on private country clubs, high-end boutiques, and family-owned businesses passed down through generations. If you weren't part of that world, you weren't worth remembering. Abby had always known she didn't belong in Crestmoor. Her family wasn't rich. They weren't powerful. They weren't anything. Her mother, Hannah, was a woman worn down by survival. She worked 3 jobs to keep a roof over their heads, coming home too tired to eat, let alone talk. On the nights she was home, she sat slumped on the couch, barely conscious, barely present. And her father, Derek Castillo, was a ghost in his own home, but only when it was convenient for him. Derek, turn the TV down. Derek, hand me a beer. Derek, why the hell don't you smile more? That was the extent of their relationship. And when he wasn't home, he was at the Lusty Leopard, blowing what little money they had on women half his age. Derek, they put on a good show. Abby resented him. She resented the way he drained what little life they had left in that house. The way he let her mother waste away, working herself to death while he played pretend in a fantasy world that didn't include them. But what she resented the most was how invisible she felt. If she disappeared, would either of them even notice? For a long time, Giveon had been her escape, the one person who saw her. They had been together for 3 years. She had trusted him more than anyone, until the day she told him she was pregnant. She had thought maybe, just maybe, he would hold her, tell her they'd figure it out together. But instead, Giveon, if you keep the baby, we're done. I can't do this. You have to choose. It wasn't a discussion. It wasn't a question. It was a demand. And for the first time, Abby realized something terrifying. She wasn't making the choice. He was. She never had control of her own life. Not in her home, not in her relationship, not even in this. Abby's thoughts. He never even asked me how I felt. Not once. Abby's thoughts. It was always about what was easiest for him. Abby's thoughts. Now I'm the one left picking up the broken pieces, alone. And what hurt even more, Giveon? If Diana ever asks me, I'm hers for life. It had always been a joke, until it wasn't. Because Diana had asked, and Giveon had answered. Abby wasn't his choice. She never had been. 2 weeks earlier, the cool autumn air wrapped around Abby and Melanie as they sat on the rusted swing set in Crestmoor Park. The sun was setting behind the trees, casting long shadows over the empty playground. But something felt off. Abby couldn't explain it. She just knew she wanted to leave. Abby, I don't get it, Mel. How could he just throw everything away like that? Melanie, I don't know, Abs. He's a jerk. You don't deserve that. Melanie wasn't just angry. She was furious. Abby, 3 years, Mel. And now it's like I'm nothing to him. Abby's thoughts. Like I never mattered at all. Her voice cracked. Melanie hated seeing Abby like this. Melanie, you're not worthless. You never were. Melanie, you're gonna be a mom. That's huge. And you don't need someone like him to make that happen. Abby let out a shaky breath. She wanted to believe her. But the hurt was too raw. Abby, I don't know if I can do this without him. Her voice was barely a whisper. Abby, I don't even know how to tell my mom. Melanie, then we'll figure it out together. A moment of silence. The weight of everything hung between them. Then finally, Abby, I don't know what I'd do without you. Melanie, good thing you don't have to find out. Abby forced a small smile. For the first time in weeks, she allowed herself to feel a flicker of hope. But then a shiver ran down her spine. Her heart pounded. She didn't know why. But for a brief moment, she felt watched. The hair on the back of her neck stood up. She turned and scanned the trees. Nothing. Just shadows. just the wind shifting through the branches. Abby's thoughts. It's nothing. It's just my imagination. She had no idea how wrong she was.